Drake never called himself street. He didn't have to. People around him got robbed. Others got threatened. Some spoke up, then went silent. Toronto, Atlanta, Los Angeles, same pattern. And once you follow his inner circle, you realize this isn't music industry drama. It's something much darker hiding in plain sight. This conversation really caught fire during the Drake and Kendrick Lamar rivalry, when fans started questioning not just lyrics, but the people standing behind the artists. And once Drake publicly challenged Kendrick's street credibility, attention quickly shifted toward Drake's own inner circle. But looking closer, a more complex picture starts to emerge. Drake, who has referenced street consequences in his lyrics as far back as 2011, appears to have deeper connections within Toronto's underground than many initially assumed. Dig further, and it becomes clear that the No New Friends rapper now surrounds himself with a very different entourage, one that looks nothing like the group he first came up with.
Nobody that I've ever considered a true friend has switched up. But these fly-by-night people that you just come across, they're all not to be trusted.
To understand this shift, it helps to revisit Drake's original circle. When he first broke into the industry, his close friends included Oliver El Khatib, Noah 40 Shabib, Future the Prince, Chubbs, and longtime associate O.B. O'Brien. They weren't known for being intimidating figures. If anything, they stood out for the opposite reason. Over time, though, many of them grew beyond being background figures in Drake's videos. Oliver went on to co-found Drake's record label, while Noah 40 Shabib became its primary producer and executive presence. Future the Prince transitioned into a key managerial role, while continuing as Drake's touring DJ. These relationships appeared genuine, rooted in years of shared history. Like Drake himself, they didn't fit the traditional hyper-masculine image often associated with hip-hop, coming across as reserved and at times openly intellectual.
Drake got together as friends. We were in a small city, Toronto. It's not a small city, but it becomes a very small city, and it was a small scene at that time. We got together because we were both young and being progressive and doing a lot of great things for our city.
As the OVO brand expanded, some members took on leadership roles, while others gradually fell away. O.B. O'Brien, once viewed as an up-and-coming rapper with songs like Steve Nash and 2 On featuring Drake, later faced reported legal troubles involving drug charges. There were also online allegations, never proven, that he and another former associate communicated inappropriately with underage girls. That other individual was Ryan, Drake's real-life cousin, who was eventually cut off from the group. He was publicly accused of negatively influencing Johnny Manziel's career and of bringing inappropriate behavior into Drake's private spaces. Over time, his closeness to fame reportedly led to issues that Drake chose to distance himself from, a split Drake later alluded to on the song Losses. Then there's Chubbs, Drake's longtime head of security. In the Thank Me Later liner notes, Drake famously thanked him for risking his life to protect him. Early on, Chubbs often handled security alone, but even that didn't stop Drake from being viewed as an easy target in the industry. He became the subject of incidents that later turned into hip-hop lore, including in events where a friend of T.I. allegedly disrespected him in a movie theater.
I've ever seen before in my life, but I ain't had no malicious intent. I don't see how it could ever be taken as a diss. I don't see how it could be. That would be someone allowing their emotions to manipulate them, if so.
Elsewhere, Drake was reportedly involved in a physical altercation with Diddy, with J. Cole stepping in to defend him. Even in Toronto, Drake wasn't immune to danger. In 2009, he was robbed of approximately $22,000 in cash, a luxury watch, and a chain gifted by Lil Wayne. Drake later described the situation as feeling like a setup, noting that the focus was entirely on him rather than anyone else present. That moment appeared to mark a turning point. In From Florida with Love, Drake reflected on having weapons pointed at his vehicle and learning a hard lesson from the experience. From then on, he suggested that he never moved without protection. This period signaled a noticeable shift, not just in his mindset, but in the people around him. Soon, Drake's circle began to include more hardened figures, most notably Baka Not Nice. Before becoming widely known for his legal issues, Baka was often described as Drake's enforcer. On tracks like No Long Talk, Drake leaned into a tougher persona, openly acknowledging these new additions. In interviews, Baka himself stated that his role was to step in when situations escalated.
You gotta understand something. If you're gonna disrespect my boss, my brother, my friend, or anybody on my team, I'm gonna feel offended. It would be weird if I didn't. Those are my brothers. Those are the men that I eat with. If he needs me, he'll call me.
As Drake's confidence grew, so did the controversies surrounding his camp. In 2014, public disputes surfaced involving stripper Johnny Blaze and Atlanta model Shy G. Both women claim they were harassed after sharing details about their interactions with Drake. Johnny alleged that what began as angry messages escalated into members of Drake's entourage showing up at her door and issuing threats. Shy G, for her part, said the backlash stemmed from posting content that showed Drake in a more affectionate light, including claims that he had bought her luxury items. Around the same time, Drake's increased assertiveness reportedly led to conflicts with other artists, including a well-known altercation with Chris Brown. There was also a serious accusation from producer Detail, who said he was physically assaulted after declining to work exclusively with Drake. According to Detail, he was invited to Drake's home late at night under the impression they would record music, only to be attacked by members of Drake's security team. He claimed the injuries left him unable to work for nearly a year. Detail later told TMZ that he repeatedly asked Drake to help cover his medical bills, requests he says were denied, eventually leading to a lawsuit. And he wasn't the last collaborator to speak out. In 2016, Toronto rapper Mo G publicly criticized OVO's business practices, alleging that he was not fairly compensated for his contributions.
Have you ever heard in the history of hip-hop a man plays creativity and helps make Billboard hits but doesn't get paid $1 for it, one credit for it, and he's stuck in the hood? It doesn't make sense. Oliver's a snake, double-headed snake.
Previously shouted out on Summer 16 as Mo with the dance moves, it soon became clear that exposure alone wasn't enough for Mo. He reportedly felt he deserved compensation. After a series of online posts, OVO allegedly paid him in order to settle the situation, and soon after, all social media references to Drake were removed. However, Mo wasn't finished there. When he believed the payment wasn't sufficient, he escalated matters by publicly previewing unreleased material connected to Drake that he claimed to have worked on.
Just to let the world know, I never got paid no 12 grand. For the record, I'm not signed to OVO. Check the history. I always delete all my posts, and I deleted it because I got bigger info coming to you right now.
Just days later, Mo took to Instagram stating that he had been physically attacked and hospitalized, suggesting this was the result of speaking openly about the industry, using the hashtag #DirtyIndustry. Since then, Mo G's public momentum slowed significantly. He later claimed that he had effectively been shut out in his own city, questioning whether he had been unofficially blacklisted. In a message to fans, he wrote that he felt banned from nearly all studios in Toronto, restricted from clubs, shows, and public appearances, and that even when he managed to book studio time, situations would allegedly become uncomfortable or unproductive. He said these conditions contributed to him stepping away from music for nearly 2 years, citing a lack of opportunity rather than lack of interest. Claims of behind-the-scenes intimidation have circulated quietly for years, and according to Mo, Drake's team continued operating this way. In 2017, rumors of a dispute between Dram and Drake began circulating. Years later, on Her Loss in 2023, Drake appeared to reference the situation in his lyrics, which many interpreted as subtle commentary. Dram eventually addressed the situation publicly, and like other incidents mentioned, he suggested that Drake's circle was heavily involved, rather than Drake acting directly.
Somebody tell Drake to shut the up about that, man. 5 years ago, never even touched me. I pressed his ass. I ain't gonna hold you. His bodyguards went to town on the kid. But his bodyguard is in, not his. He ain't touched me. He's a, you know that.
As Drake's career continued to rise, he was increasingly seen around individuals associated with Toronto street culture and underground music scenes, including people connected to the Reps Up label. Over time, fans and observers noted his associations with various figures who had reputations tied to the streets. Drake also publicly mourned the passing of Anthony Fifth Swears, which further fueled discussion about his connections. Additional reports linked him socially to people rumored to have gang affiliations, though none of this has been formally proven. During this period, Drake appeared more confident and outspoken. In December 2018, Kanye West tweeted that Drake had allegedly called him in a threatening manner, expressing concern for his own safety and that of his family. Drake never publicly confirmed this version of events. Despite the tension, the situation de-escalated. Kanye later appeared willing to reconcile, eventually requesting to perform alongside Drake at a benefit concert, with Jay Prince, a respected figure in Houston's music scene, present, which many saw as a sign of mediation rather than conflict.
I'm making this video to address the ongoing back and forth between myself and Drake. Both me and Drake have taken shots at each other, and it's time to put it to rest. I believe this event will not only bring awareness to our cause, but prove to people everywhere how much more we can accomplish when we lay our pride to the side and come together.
By this point, Drake appeared increasingly comfortable navigating street politics. This may explain why he remained composed during an incident involving music executive Benzino's associate being assaulted at a Toronto venue. The victim later filed a lawsuit alleging serious injuries. In the legal filing, it was claimed that Drake made a threatening gesture before the altercation occurred, though Drake was never charged and the matter remained a civil dispute. From Toronto's street crews to other underground networks, Drake's influence in the city was often described as extensive. Around the same time, DJ Drama, who had previously been associated with the Meek Mill and Drake feud, was reportedly robbed of his chain during a visit to Toronto. Those responsible allegedly mentioned Drake's name afterward, though no evidence ever tied Drake directly to the incident. Beyond street culture, Drake has also been rumored to have indirect connections with individuals linked to the Toronto chapter of the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club, an organization widely known for its criminal history. These rumors resurfaced after Rick Ross played Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us during a Toronto appearance and was later confronted and assaulted. His DJ was also reportedly attacked. Later reports identified one of the individuals involved as Andreas Terzakis, also known as Icarus, whose family history has previously been associated with organized crime. Old photos resurfaced showing Hells Angels imagery in Drake's circle, which led a Toronto police spokesperson to publicly criticize the casual use of such symbolism. Drake was also seen alongside individuals rumored to be affiliated with the group in his Family Matters video, reinforcing public speculation. Critics argue that Drake has intentionally built a powerful network around himself to protect his interests across regions. As a result, when incidents such as gunfire near Drake's residence or attacks involving people linked to the Weeknd's team occurred, some fans began connecting the dots, though authorities never confirmed any direct link. Similarly, when artists associated with Kendrick Lamar experienced sudden Canadian show cancellations, observers viewed it as another sign of industry power dynamics at play. Today, Drake's longtime associate, Chubbs, is often referred to as capo, a term commonly used to describe a high-ranking figure. To critics, this suggests a clear hierarchy within Drake's inner circle. While none of these connections have been legally substantiated, the perception remains that OVO functions as one of the most influential and well-protected camps in modern hip-hop.